depending on the speed of my internet. Hello, and welcome to another live session. Now, my camera is a little bit grainy on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube now, just let me know if the camera is a bit grainy. Anyway, today's live show, I'm going to give you some top tips on how many times you should post to social media. I'm going to give you a real simple summary at the end on how often you should post to Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, and Facebook. This is probably one of the biggest questions I ever get asked. I'm also going to just tell you a little bit about why on earth I'm wearing this. This isn't obviously my normal attire, as most of you know. Okay, now I'm hoping this video's looking okay. It's looking a bit grainy on YouTube, but anyway, we'll see. If not, I can post the Facebook video onto there. So if you're watching and you want to give me a shout out, you want me to give you a shout out, give me a wave and say hi, and I'll say hello as usual. So the biggest question of all time that I would say every single one of my clients always ask me, whether they're on their training or not, training course, or whether I work with them on a one-to-one basis, is how often should I post to social media? Okay, now there isn't a simple answer, so I'm not going to pretend there is. There isn't a simple answer to this. But I can certainly give you some guidance. I can tell you generally what is the consensus of how often you should post to social media. But what I'm going to do is give you some really good tips on how you should understand your audience and how you should get around it. Because do you know what? I could say to you, guys, you need to be posting 6 times a day on all 6 platforms. But actually, it purely depends on your business. It depends on your target audience. And it depends, the biggest factor, it depends on how much time you've got. And we don't have much time. So, let's be sensible about this. Social media is about quality over quantity as well. People are like, well, you must be posting. And it's like, well, you must be posting, absolutely. But you must think about the content you're posting, how engaging it is, and whether your target audience are going to like it. Okay. Oh, hi, Nat. Nice to see you. So we're going to start with Instagram. Instagram is a great platform for images, and more people are moving to Instagram. A lot of my clients are going, can you help me with Instagram? So Instagram is generally, the consensus with Instagram is quite frequent. It's quite a frequent platform. So you want to be posting to Instagram about 1 to 3 times a day, ideally, if you want to grow. But again, it's more about how it looks. Don't post loads of odd random things. It's got to be branded around your business, and it's got to look quite consistent, and you've got to show your potential customers, what your business is about and what sort of style. It's kind of all based around a bit more of a style with Instagram. So slightly different to Facebook. So I always recommend, if you've got online retailer, then Instagram's fantastic, to really sort of showcase some of your products and services, but in a fun, interactive way. Instagram is very informal. You've got to remember that. So generally 1 to 3 times a day on Instagram. However, the most important thing on Instagram is consistency. A lot of people go mad, yes, we've launched our Instagram. Post for the first week, 2 weeks. Really excited. Yeah, let's get loads of stuff out there. And then it dies a death. You get busy. You don't get that return on investment that you were hoping for. You've not given it enough time. So with regards to Instagram, it's about being consistent. So if you haven't got time to post 1 to 3 times a day, then you haven't got time to post. There's no point starting off like that. You've got to be realistic. So I would just say consistency, even if it's just once a week, if it's consistent. There's no point starting off posting 3 times a day if it tails off. Instagram wants you to be consistent. So if all you can manage is once a week, then just do once a week. And it will grow over time. Remember, social media is not a quick win. We're in it for the long term here. So once a week on Instagram. And LinkedIn, if we move on LinkedIn, if you're sort of business to business, then LinkedIn is, again, twice a week, ideally. Twice a week on LinkedIn. Now, some people go mad on LinkedIn. They treat it a little bit like Twitter. And they're going posting 3, 4, 5 times a day. Generally, consensus is that once a day will give you the optimum reach for viewers. However, if you've got a launch or you're trying to launch a new product and it's time limited, so for example, maybe there's only 12 more hours, then you might want to post 2 or 3 times in one day as you're getting counting down. But if you post too many times throughout the day on any not any social media, throughout the day, particularly on Facebook and LinkedIn, then people get a bit fed up and you risk losing followers. Okay. So LinkedIn is generally twice a week. Again, we're making it engaging. So twice a week on LinkedIn is going to keep your audience engaged. But if you can, once a day. Okay. But think about timing as well. People often just post on their social media when they have a great idea and they go, oh, post. Whether it be 11 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning. If you suddenly have a bright idea and think, oh, I must post this. What you've got to remember is you've got to post when your followers are online and are likely to see it, because you need your audience to be engaging with that post, certainly within the first hour, with Twitter, certainly within the first few minutes, if you're going to get any traction. So again, think about that timing. Now, most of our social media platforms will tell us what time our followers are online. Facebook and Instagram particularly will give you those insights to tell you when your followers are online and what sort of time you're best posting on. Just a little note as well is if you are on Instagram and you can't find those insights, make sure you've converted your account to a business account, something people often fail to do. It's free, very simple to do. It's literally the flick of a button. And you get some really, really useful insights with that. So LinkedIn once a day is enough. 2, 3 times a week. Great. That'll keep your brand, you in people's minds. Okay. So Facebook. Most people I meet go, oh, I know, I need to be posting on Facebook 3 times a day, but I just can't think of the content. Facebook, no. You don't want to be posting on Facebook 3 times a day. Fair enough if you've got hundreds of thousands of followers, you're really known, you've got great content, maybe like Lads Bible that are posting out funny content all the time. Brilliant. But let's be realistic. The majority of people who are watching this stream, the majority of people who my target audience are not that large. So we are just going with Facebook. Generally, I was just 3 times a week. 3 times a week. I only post about 3 times a week. And that is enough. I'm not looking to massively grow my audience at the moment because I get enough business from potential clients by posting 3 times a week. So again, think about your objectives, think about what you need. What I do tend to find is if you're posting too regularly on Facebook, people get bored and they start unliking your pages. And again, that's not good. Facebook's monitoring all these unlikes. So 3 times a week is great. And actually, HubSpot did an interesting little survey, and that accounts with less than 10,000 followers, yes, less than 10,000 followers, generally they had a massive a drop, if 50% drop in engagement if accounts were posting more than twice a day on Facebook. So that's something to bear in mind. Quality, not quantity. We don't want to bombard. We don't want to bombard people. Also, be really careful on Facebook sharing your content into all different groups. They're really clamping down on it, and they will freeze your account. So don't be spammy. Okay. So Twitter, moving on. Twitter is different. Twitter is a lot different to the likes of LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube. Twitter has such a small shelf life for its tweets. Twitter is short and sharp and quick and speedy. So we're talking on Twitter a shelf life. Your tweets have a shelf life of about 15 minutes. If lots of people are engaging in it, then fine, but 15 minutes, that's all it's got. So Twitter, you can get away with tweeting all day to your heart's content, 30 a day, absolutely fine. Make it interesting again. But who has got time to do Twitter 30 times a day? I certainly don't. So just as frequently as you can on Twitter. 3 times a day is fine, but think about it. Think about your objectives. I don't tweet 3 times a day. I probably tweet 4 times a week, simply because I don't get very little business through Twitter. I get most business through Facebook and LinkedIn. Therefore, I really focus on those platforms. So I could throw out content all day to my heart's content on Twitter. But the big question is what are you getting for that? What are you aiming to achieve? Are you getting business, or are you growing your channel? I tweet 3 or 4 times a week. It's growing gradually in followers. So don't worry if it takes too long, if you haven't got the time to post that many times on Twitter. Okay. So YouTube, moving on to YouTube then. YouTube, again, it's harder. This is video content. It's a little bit harder than just taking a little picture and writing a few words. This is actual video content. So again, YouTube just likes consistency. So if you're creating a video once a month, then post a video once a month. If you're, it takes a long time. If you're getting regular video content, short, sharp snippets, then post them 3 times a week. I generally go live on YouTube on a Monday at 12:30. That's my consistency. And then I do tutorials in between those, maybe 1 or 2. Once a week, or maybe once every fortnight, I'll do a little tutorial as well, depending on how much time. But I am consistent. I always do my live stream on a Monday. The best times on YouTube, generally speaking, to post your video content is 12 till 3 on a Thursday or a Friday. Who would have known that? What I always say when you read things that say, this is the best time to post, because Facebook, a lot of experts say Facebook, the best time to post on Facebook is early in the afternoon. People say the best time to post on LinkedIn is like lunchtime. Now, what I would always say is it purely depends on your target market and who your potential clients are and when they're likely to be online. A lot of my clients who come to my workshops and things like that, they do work from home. So I can pick them up, at lunchtime and things like that. But it depends on your market. If your target market is nurses and doctors, for example, if they work in shifts, particularly nurses, then your timings are going to be very different. Generally speaking, I always say in an evening for Facebook, up to about 9 p.m. is your optimum time. LinkedIn, first thing in the morning. Twitter, just tweet to your heart's content all day. Trial it. And YouTube, we're saying 12 till 3 on the Thursday and Friday. Again, you trial it. YouTube's slightly different. So test it. Again, use the statistics you've got available on your social media platforms to see which posts are getting the highest reach. And some of it will be down to timing. Okay. So we've done Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest then. That's the last one I'm going to sort of talk about. Pinterest, again, one of my favorites. If you are on Pinterest, particularly if you've got online retail, or if you're in the wedding or events or leisure type services, then Pinterest is absolutely fabulous. It's generally 80% women that are on Pinterest. Generally speaking, when I was working at Nomad Games, I used to pin 3 times a day at different times of day. I used to use an app called Tailwind, and that got us a lot of traction. But it wasn't just my pins. I would share other people's pins for those 3. So don't worry, think about creating 3 pins a day. But Pinterest likes a lot of content. It's more like a search engine. So you're building up a bank of images. So 3 times a day, up to 30. You can get up to 30, pins without spoiling your reach, as it were. So again, a completely different approach to the likes of Facebook, because it's a completely different platform. So 30 pins a day on Pinterest. So that's it. Now I'm going to do a quick summary before we finish of all of them. I'll give you a quick summary of what's on each one, because I know we've gone into a bit more depth on those. But that's it. If you've got any questions, give me a shout now before we come off. Let me know what you find with your social media. Have you seen any trends on what works for you? Because I can tell you now, it's not one size fits all. You've got to do a bit of trial and error and test what works for you, your products and services, and your target market. It does vastly vary. Okay. So, and why am I wearing this? Why on earth am I wearing this today? Well, my voice is a bit croaky today as well, so I do apologise. It was our wedding anniversary this weekend, and we had 70 people come to our house for the whole weekend. So I keep wandering around and finding these lovely garlands everywhere, because we had a bit of a colourful party and gave everybody a garland. And my mum, bless her, created me this little duck. Look at this cute little duck. It says, for those that are reading backwards, it says, "I'm ready for the party." You won't be able to read this because it'll be a mirror image. But yes, I've had a mad weekend, so I just thought I would share the colourfulness of all these garlands. It was mad. Oh, thanks, Sam. Thank you. Yes, I had a lovely anniversary. Thank you. We had a big bouncy castle in the backyard. It was quite mad. Backyard. I'm not from America. In the back garden. Yes, it was mad. Big bouncy castle, disco dome with a slide. It was fabulous. Sam and Net are saying they've missed a bit because they had a phone call. Well, you can't ignore clients. What can I say? So that's good. Okay, so yes, this is why I'm all colourful this week. It's been a fabulous weekend. Yes, so it was good. Great weekend. Definitely we'll be having more parties like that, even though we did keep the neighbours awake. Oops, I apologise. Okay then, so in summary, this is what we want to do. Okay, so quick summary for you all. Instagram, as often as you can. but be consistent. Consistency is the key. Facebook, minimum of 3 times a week. LinkedIn, once a day ideally, but at least twice a week. Twitter, as often as possible. Just keep twittering away. As often as possible is perfect for Twitter. Pinterest, ideally 3 times a day. YouTube, be consistent. There's no general rule of thumb for YouTube. It's just about being consistent. But again, it depends on your audience. Trial it. One size does not fit all. It's about quality, not quantity. And the thing is everyone could say, right, these are the general trends. This is what I must do. The minute everybody starts doing the same thing, that's when social media changes all the algorithms. So it's not simple. You've just got to get a feel for it. Use those insights that the social media platforms provide you with and trial it for yourself and your audience. So that's it. A quick summary. If you're watching on YouTube, please do subscribe to my channel. I am trying to grow it. And for those of you in my Facebook group and watching live on YouTube, I will see you next Monday at 12:30. Again, if you've got any questions in the meantime, do give us a shout. So next week, I'm going to be talking about how to increase our followers on social media. So giving you a few tips on just how to grow your channels, because it's hard at the moment. You know, it is hard. So thanks guys for watching. It's been lovely to chat. If you're not watching this live, just post questions in the comments below and I'll happily get back to you. So don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube, and I will see you next week at 12:30. Have a great week, everybody. Bye. See you later, guys. Thanks for